What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Corey Austin Theorem, where I talk about really whatever the hell pops in my brain. I mean, I'm literally, most times I feel just like a guy just talking to a bunch of friends. Because oftentimes when I press record, I'm like, you know what? I know I talk about Kratom and 7-hydroxy and substance abuse on this channel, but I never really, well, not never, most times, more times than not, I have no idea which direction the conversation, the one-way conversation, is going to go in until I hit record and I just start talking and the wheels start spinning. And then the gum starts flapping, and you know what comes out. Admittedly, I would like to talk about some other stuff at times, but the algorithm just will not let me go. The algorithm has put me in a box and tied a nice little bow around what it thinks that I should be discussing. And apparently the algorithm, which is not made of flesh and bone, by the way, has decided for me on my behalf what it is the viewers want to hear me talk about, right? Because anytime I do anything that is even a little bit off of the mark, from Kratom, 7-hydroxy, addiction, I mean, my videos get half, less than half, sometimes a third or a quarter of the views that they get when I talk about Kratom or 7-hydroxy. So I figured today I would talk a little bit about a couple of the mental health aspects surrounding Kratom. And just then, right now, when I said that, it came to me. Just like a magical puff of smoke. What it is I want to talk about. And what that is the reason that people tend to lean into taking something like Kratom or 7-hydroxy. And I think there are basically two reasons for that. One is anxiety. One is depression. Now, it's one of those things that, those are very, very heavily layered with the whole mental health stigma. Oh no. Let's don't talk about mental health, right? Because we're all hiding behind our fake smiles, and when it comes to talking about it, certainly in public, and admitting to other people any frailties that you may have in life, whether they be physical or mental or emotional, it's just not something people are comfortable with talking about, especially men. And I'd like to change that a little bit, because let's be honest, we've all had childhood traumas, teenage traumas, adult traumas that have shaped not only our character but our personalities. And a lot of us, many of us, if not all of us, in some way, shape, or form, struggle with some level, whether it be deep or just surface, depression and anxiety. And when you're dealing with something like Kratom, or you discover something like Kratom, one of the reasons that people become attracted to it is because it increases your mood. It does what? Let's be honest, it works. A lot of people don't like to say that because they think, well, then you're supporting drug use, or you're supporting using this substance all of the time as a means of curving or altering or improving upon mental health conditions that we don't like to talk about. Well, I can't talk about it. I can't get it out and deal with it in a professional, healthy sort of way. So I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on a broken leg, and I'm just going to take this substance that, well, let's be honest, when I take it, I don't feel depressed anymore. When I take it, I don't feel that little bit of anxiety. But the truth of the matter is, much of the depression and the anxiety that we feel is just our bodies working the way they're supposed to work. Your body is in a constant, incessant state of fight or flight. And much of that, for many of us, simply comes from unresolved childhood traumas or teenage traumas or adult traumas. Sometimes it could be ways that someone has wronged you and you have been abused. And people who have been abused it's something science really can't explain, but we tend to look at ourselves and think, why did that happen to me? What is wrong with me that happened to me? And it's not so much blaming yourself as in, oh, it was my fault that abuse happened, even though that sometimes is also the mental narrative that people create for themselves. But more times than not, people tend to continuously stay on this self-destructive pattern. This self-destructive. Damn, somebody's smoking some weed riding by me. You ever riding down the road and you're like, woo, somebody's puffing the Chiba. I guess it's fitting. I talk about that sort of stuff on this channel. But a lot of the depression and anxiety that we deal with are things that have happened to us in the past, and we are continually reliving those events, and those events are recycling over and over and over in our heads and our bodies. Well, let me back up. First, our minds are reacting to those events, and ultimately a consistent pattern of this steadily over time increases cortisol, increases adrenaline. It can age you faster. It can cause health issues that people oftentimes can't even explain. I don't know why I'm having these health problems. Well, it's because you worry too damn much. It's because you're anxious 95% of the time, or it's because you're depressed 95% of the time. You take something like Kratom, your anxiety goes away, your depression goes away. So what's my point in all this? My point in all of this is to fix this repeated mental and emotional pattern of depression and anxiety. Takes a lot of hard work and self-reflection. It takes writing down things, sitting with either a therapist or a good friend, talking about certain things that have caused you to experience this depression and anxiety, whether it's a trauma that you experienced, or for some of us, more of my depression and anxiety comes from shame and guilt for a lot of the things that I did in my active addiction, whether that be stealing pain medication from people, or promiscuity, promiscuous sex that I had, or cheating on a girlfriend, or having been caught watching porn, or just whatever it is. I mean, I'm a grew up as a dopamine hit addict. It didn't always have to be a substance. You know, anything that would flip that switch and give me that hit of dopamine, I was all about it. I was all about chasing that good feeling. You know, whether that was attention, getting attention, you know, through expressing my talents musically, being in a singing group. One of the main reasons I liked being in a singing group is because I got attention from that. One of the main reasons I enjoy being a musician was because I got attention from that. Also, it got me a lot of women, which also led to a lot of sex, which I also was addicted to. You see where I'm going with this, right? But it takes a lot of hard work and self-reflection and time to not only deal with any time that you have been traumatized and forgive and forget other people, forgive other people for times that they have trespassed against you. Because let's be honest, when you forgive someone, that's not for them, that's for you. That's so you're not carrying around that which is poisoning your heart, your mind, your spirit. Okay, that's why you forgive people. Not for them, it's for you. Right? And it takes work to do that. To write down and get out of the inside of your body and mind things that may have happened to you that you would perceive as negative. It takes work, it takes time. Right? To go to people that you feel shame and guilt towards because you may have wronged them or done something negative towards them or unfair to them during your active addiction. That takes a lot of work, and let's be real, it can be uncomfortable, right? But that stuff takes work. It's a hell of a lot easier just to throw a scoop of Kratom in orange juice, drink it, have a little coffee, and then 5 minutes later you're like, you know what, I don't feel quite so depressed anymore. I don't feel quite so anxious anymore. Or it's a lot easier to take half of a tablet of 7-Hydroxy, and then guess what? All those things you experienced as a child, the trauma, the turmoil in the home, all of these negative experiences that have affected you all of your life, that continually play like a, you know, VCR tape just on loop in your head over and over and over and over and over. It's much easier, it's much less work to just take a pill or take a substance and then forget all about it and feel a little better. But the only problem is that equal and opposite reaction, because the more you cover it up and the more you put a band-aid over this broken leg, or aka this depression and this anxiety, the less you're actually dealing with those traumas and those issues on a deep-rooted level. So just think about that. Think about that a little bit. I want you guys to think about it. Be aware of it. Be aware of the triggers for you. And try to figure out healthy ways to deal with the depression and the anxiety that you feel. And a lot of it, you know, the crazy thing about it is, if you look at it, many people that suffer from depression and anxiety, if you look at them and ask them, why are you, depressed about what? Anxious about what? What do you have to be anxious about? Look at you, and I'm very much that way. You know, if I look at my life and all the blessings that I have in my life, I have a job, I have a wonderful wife who loves me and respects me. She has a good job. We have a beautiful home. I have 2 beautiful children that are both healthy and thriving. Both of my parents are still alive as almost a 50-year-old man. You know, they're doing well considering their ages. You know, I have a sibling, an older brother who loves me, who cares about me. You know, I really have nothing to be depressed or anxious about. And that's many of us. That's many of you. A lot of you are still holding on to things and letting things affect you that happened years and years and years and years and years and years ago. So do the hard work to deal with those things. You know, writing things out, talking to someone that you trust to get it off of your chest. Ask for forgiveness from people where necessary. And you've done your part. They may not forgive you. They may tell you to fuck off. But still, you've done your part. And you've done everything that you can do. And you can rest easy in knowing that you've done everything you can do to move on from that. Get new hobbies. Exercise. Get rid of that angst. Get rid of that anxiety in positive ways. You know? Sports. Pick up a new sport. Pick up a musical hobby. All those things. So just dropping a little knowledge. I'm not going to keep rambling, but I want you guys to think about those things. Think about why you're actually really using substances. And you guys already know I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I just talk on here. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy talking. And I still struggle with it on a daily basis. On a daily basis. But I am trying to put in the work. I'm somewhere around 100 days off of the 7-hydroxy now. Still using, you know, alcohol, a little bit of THC here and there. But I still also am doing a lot of work behind the scenes that I don't really talk to you guys about. To try to improve. And to try to deal with my depression and anxiety on a rooted level. You know, from a place of not just theory, or how do I fix this, how do I theoretically fix this, but from a place of application, actually applying it to my life, right? So I want you guys to think of it from a place of application, not so much from a place of theorizing how I can fix these triggers that cause me to run to substances, right? And if you're going to use those substances, you have to be able to do it in a way that is somewhat responsible. Otherwise, it is going to beat you down. And that wound that you call childhood trauma or anxiety, or that wound or wounds that are causing this depression and anxiety in your life will continue to grow and grow and deepen and deepen and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to face it. Face it. With raw emotion, you know, without the numbing agents of the substances, right? I gotta go. Love you guys very much. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Hopefully you get something out of it. If you have depression and anxiety, which I'm pretty sure about 100% of us do to some degree, that is your body trying to protect you. That means your body is working. Right? Most of the people see that as something is wrong with them. No, well, no, not really. You're not broken. Actually, that means your body is working. It's doing what it's supposed to. It's attempting to protect you. The problem is, you're an adult now. You're grown now. You don't need to be protected from that thing that happened to you 10 years ago anymore. 15 years ago anymore. For some of us, 30, 40 years ago anymore. You don't need to be protected from that anymore. You're past it. You've already survived it. Let it go. Let it go. Woosah. If you would, please do subscribe to the channel. like the video. If you'd like to drop like a cash thanks, throw your boy a couple of bones for his time, for these little bits of information. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know, but sometimes it helps to hear somebody else say it. Kind of puts it into perspective. You know, if you want to do that, you can hit this thanks button right here that I'm pointing at. Drop your boy a couple of bones, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. You guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.